In this video, we'll show how you can add source documentation to a regulatory change in IBM OpenPages. Let's log in as our user, RCM, username, and password. Once we log in, we can select a regulatory change that we want to add source documentation to. Let's continue to work with the information we've been leveraging by clicking My Regulatory Changes, and we can select the regulatory change we added in the prior videos. On the regulatory change, we have a section called Files and Attachments. Simply by scrolling down, we can see this section listed. This is where we're going to store all of our source documentation. Click Add Update, and this will now allow you to see a listing of all the information that we have for source documentation on your hard drive. In this case, I can select multiple source documentation and hit Open, and it will allow me to add these files. I can also provide a description here. Now, these files could be files that you're bringing in from the regulator. These could be internal documents that you're utilizing for commentary, which we'll talk about in a later video as well, but allows you to bring any of that information directly into the system. You can also add files and attachments simply by doing a drag and drop right from your desktop or any other location on your local machine. Once the files have been added, you can now begin to work with any of the information associated to those files. Let's click into SourceDoc2 as an example. By clicking in SourceDoc2, we can now see metadata about the document itself. This includes information such as the document type, whether or not it's a private document. If we set that to yes, this will allow us to restrict access to this document by utilizing our security rules. We might also want to add keywords, or even provide a summary abstract of that information as well. Additional details can include things such as the authority name, the date you received the information, maybe the status of the document, what year it was issued, country, including areas such as impacted business areas, global quality systems, as well as lifecycle phases. If there's a specific page link, you could actually add a link directly to that information and simply hit Save. You'll now see that all the information and metadata attached to that source document is available for you to review and edit. The links allow you to go directly to the link within the required information, such as a link to the regulator website, as you see here. Back on our document tree view, we can see that this particular source document is linked to a regulatory change, which is where we entered the information to. We can see that regulatory change listed below, and if we actually wanted to link this source document to any other regulatory changes, we have the ability to do that simply by selecting that regulatory change directly from the list of changes that we have access to. If we go back to the regulatory change and come back to our source information, you can see here we can download the information directly from this section as well. And again, it will allow us to open up the data and review that and make any edits to the information directly within the file itself. Once we want to update any of that information, all we need to do is simply re-upload that data. We can select SourceDoc2, hit Open, and you'll notice here it will actually ask us for a version comment. So as we add a new update to that, it will automatically version this file for us. And we can hit Upload. Now we have a new version which has been loaded into the system for that particular source document itself. We can even use our callout window here simply by clicking on that link to be able to see any of the detailed information or update the data as well by going into edit mode. we wanted to access all of the different files in the system, up on the upper left, you can click on your menu. Under Attachments, you'll see that you have a section called Files and Links. Within Files, we can see all the different source information and attachments that we have directly in the system. And under Links, we can actually have links to any other information as well. So again, you can create links directly to source data if you did not want to upload information directly within the system. Back on our reg change, we can now see that we have 2 files for source documents which have been attached directly to this, and we have access to that information directly within the system. That concludes our demonstration for adding source documentation to a regulatory change in IBM Open Pages. Thank you.